Not always, but way too many times. I guess what I'd really like to share with people, that especially those people who are targeted, I've read that about 1 in 100 of people are becoming targeted. That's a lot. And when this first started happening to me, and what started happening was about 15 years ago, and I was living in Northern California, and I would notice that there were tapping sounds in the walls, and I thought there were hidden cameras. There may have been. I don't know. I know now that they actually use some kind of laser so that they don't actually have to put a camera in your house to watch you all the time. But I would notice that when I'd leave, if I had a day where I was running errands, someone would follow me from the end of my driveway everywhere I went all day, stay and wait at the post office till I do my business there, and then follow me to the next place, which I have not, I haven't dealt drugs. I haven't done any kind of terrorist activity. There's been nothing. So it was really confusing why all of that was happening. And that went on for a couple of years before I actually started getting attacked with directed energy weapons. And I would get a sharp stab of pain, could be in my heart, sometimes in my head, in my ear. It felt like somebody ramming an ice pick into my ear. Really painful. And the noises would follow from, I lived in an apartment when this started happening, and the noises would follow me. It would be like someone hammering directly overhead from my apartment, and so I'd move into another room, and they would follow me, the hammering directly overhead there. And then that's when I started noticing that I was getting the stabs of pain, and it would stop sometimes if I would go around a corner, if I would stand behind my refrigerator, and I didn't know why or how any of this was happening. And a couple of friends told me to look up targeted individual and directed energy weapons. And I did, and did this many times, and really didn't find anything, or found articles that were really unhelpful. One of them that I laughed about, it said, if you're being stalked, go bird watching.
Oh my gosh, what kind of advice is that?
Like I'm gonna take my binoculars and go into the woods alone when I'm being stalked and scared of being attacked. It just sounded crazy, and of course that is a crazy recommendation. So anyway, I was getting nothing on my home computer. Finally, I went to the library, and on those computers, I was able to access information, and finally found targeted individual websites, and was able to connect with other people, and found Facebook groups. And I had been followed all around town. People had been treating me rudely and strangely. I didn't know what was going on. The directed energy had gotten really scary. And so it was such a relief to find, not that I want other people to be targeted. This stuff needs to be stopped. It needs shut down. Many people, many thousands of people across this country are going through the same, and they're being blacklisted. We can't find jobs. We are, our medical records are made accessible to the people, the gang stalkers who participate in these programs, so that they know how and where to hurt us. Rumors are spread about us so that people think we have, I don't even know what it's been about me. I only know that other people have told me some of the rumors that were spread about them. I really don't know. Do people think I'm a rapist or a serial killer or a child molester, or, what kind of nonsense do they believe about me? I do know that when I lived in the trailer park in Florida, I was there for 1 year. I would go walking down the street, and people that had little kids out would, grab their children and hug them close like I was going to steal their children and eat them for dinner or something. I don't know. So anyway, this has gone on, and it's gotten anymore. I think a lot of TIs get gang stalking, and they're intimidated because people run up to you on the street and start screaming at you, or they'll just barely bump into your car and then start screaming that you hit them. Whatever. It's to create drama and to make you feel afraid and alone and like you're doing something wrong. That went on, for a number of years, to the point where it doesn't bother me anymore. And this is one of the things that I think all of us as TIs, after a number of years like that, we blow it off. It's scary at first, and then it stops being scary. At first, it feels like a huge violation, that your privacy is violated 24/7. I was really angry about it. I felt really violated. Now, so much has happened. I felt my privacy violated, and that's a sort of a boundary issue. After a while, it's like, well, okay, watch me 24/7, just don't torture me. And then they radiated me for 5 days straight about this. Was before I knew what was going on or how they were doing it, until I had a heart attack.
How old were you when you had the heart attack? I'm sorry, Lisa, I'm interrupting you. How old were you when you got the heart attack?
That was about 7 years ago, I think. I'm 50 now, so I would have been 43.
Yeah.
43. So yeah, it was much too young, and I hadn't ever had any heart condition or heart problems, but I was getting stabs of pain in my heart, and I didn't know to leave my apartment, that this was being done to me with radiation. So I thought I was sick. I started throwing up, which is a common symptom of heart attacks for women.
Yeah.
But I thought I had flu, and I went to bed and stayed there, and they kept hurting me until I was so sick I couldn't stand up. And that's when I called an ambulance. So anyway, I got through that. Once I found out what targeting was, initially it was a huge relief, because I became suicidal. I thought that everyone just hated me and wanted to hurt me. And I love everybody. I really do. Even the people who hurt me. And I've had, my moments of screaming hateful things at the walls, after being tortured for days and days, unending. Also, this was when I lived in the trailer park. The torture was very much to my breasts and genitals, and it felt like being raped in a very painful way. And I used to call it the hunting party. I really felt like all the men in the neighborhood got home Friday afternoon. That's when the rape sensation started up, and it would go all weekend until Sunday night. And I felt like this was the guys getting together to have fun. I don't I don't understand. I really don't understand what was going on. But the men would look at me with a really hateful look if I would see them around the trailer park, and the torture would go on all weekend. It got to where, like I said, I really wanted to die, and I did try to kill myself, and of course I did end up in a hospital. I'm glad that I wasn't successful at this point. But that got me what they wanted, which was a label of being delusional. Once that happens, and also once you've been put on a terrorist watch list, those two things happen early on for most targeted people. And once that has happened, being on a terrorist watch list, we no longer have our rights as citizens. And so they can attack us with these energy weapons. It actually is illegal. It's not right, but this gets them closer to being able to do whatever they want to us. And then being labeled delusional or schizophrenic or whatever, various labels that are very common for targeted people, again, make it so that no one will listen to us. You know, it must be in your imagination that you're being attacked. My huge message that I really want anyone who's targeted or believes they're targeted, or they're getting these strange symptoms, they're being followed all over town. One day I went to the grocery store and people followed me, which was usual. I wasn't surprised. But this man in the grocery store was like right there by me everywhere I went. And so I was in the produce section. I started just grabbing one of everything. And he followed me to every little area, which was, it's a little upsetting. And people use their cell phones I'm not sure what the app is, but they have an app when they sign up, when they take these jobs to be gang stalkers. They have an app. And they find your face in the app and your information and start pushing buttons, and you start getting stabs of pain. So this guy was doing that to me in the grocery store. So I started moving around and staying very close to him. He was going to be right beside me. So I moved uncomfortably close to him to where I was actually touching his elbow, and he started looking scared. And so he was moving from area to area, and I did the same and just moved with him. And he had to try to look normal, he had to take a beet and a carrot and a head of lettuce. He ended up having to do this, and I don't know if he learned anything, but definitely trying to be small and trying to not be noticed doesn't work. People, if they think you're scared, they're going to gang up on you and do whatever they want. So you have to fight back. I've had so many people say, well, this is the government, and you don't want any trouble, so just, keep your head down and don't make any waves. They will beat you into the ground if you do that. They will test every weapon on you, and they will hurt you in every way possible. They don't want to kill you immediately, but once you catch on to what's going on, they want to use you as much as they can. That you become basically human tissue for their use, for experimentation with these directed energy weapons and medical experiments. And this has been happening to me now. It started 15 years ago. The directed energy didn't start until about 12 years ago. And it's damaged my body physically, permanently. These new directed energy weapons are supposed to be non-lethal, but after you've been radiated for 15 years, you know, your body has problems. So, yeah, I just want other targeted individuals, especially who are newly finding out that this is happening, don't be scared into submission. Don't be quiet about it. And it used to be that, you know, after I'd first been hospitalized, I had police show up at my door saying, "We heard you threaten to kill yourself." And I said, "No." And I was sitting right there at my kitchen table and I was making little collages to give to my neighbors, little just happy notes. And that's my way of trying to make peace with people who are torturing me. So I had gang stalkers amongst my neighbors, and I thought, well, you know, maybe if I'm really nice, they'll realize that I'm not whatever it is that they think I am that's making them want to torture me. So that's what I was doing, and had police, you know, showing up at my door saying, "Are you going to get in the car, or do we need to handcuff you?" So anyway, they took me to the hospital, and I was scared after that. I was scared that if I said anything about the targeting, that people would say I was crazy and come and show up and put me in hospital. So, you know, and that's, again, a way of scaring us into submission. Well, what happened in Cuba to the diplomats with the directed energy, the Air Force has actually come out and announced that they've been developing directed energy weapons, and they say it's for use in outer space, and that the United States is going to control, I don't know, but do they think they're going to control the whole universe? But anyway, that's what they're doing. They're working on these directed energy weapons. They announced it. Of course, and they said they've been testing them. Of course, they didn't say who they've been testing them on. All of us that are targeted know. But, you know, that's one thing. There are others. There was a 60 Minutes episode where a targeted individual was interviewed. So this stuff is coming out, and I think it is very important that all of us speak out. If they put you in the hospital now, that adds to your case. This is illegal and criminal, and these weapons are not non-lethal. It's called slow kill. They are lethal, and it's going to take several years, but it's meant to degrade your health slowly, so that by the time you're no longer useful and can talk, you're dead. That's what's being done to thousands and thousands of innocent people. And when people say I'm crazy and why would anybody do that, and doesn't our government love us, I tell them that it's all about money. And it is. They're getting a lot of money. We are being human trafficked. And, you know, people say, well, why do you think you're so important, that you're worth all of this? I'm not. I'm not so important. I'm being used for experimental purposes. I do think that they pick on people who tend to speak out, or who do make waves. I think my kind of people does tend to get picked on, but ultimately, that there are thousands and thousands of us that this is happening to. No one of us is so important, but they can't experiment on everybody. They have to limit it, or people would have, people would put an end to it. So I think they've pushed it too far. I think they have targeted too many people, and they've targeted intelligent people, lawyers and doctors and people who not only will speak out, but know how to effectively protect themselves. There have been, a couple of lawsuits that were won. This stuff is coming out, and I think we need to really move on that. It's coming out if we're put into hospitals or prisons or whatever. That's going to add to our case. I just hope that people will not be too scared anymore. I think this is really the time. And I don't want people to be hurt or in trouble. If I felt that it was dangerous to speak out, I would tell people that. I would say lay low. But the truth is, we are worth a lot of money as experimental, matter. It's really unfortunate to say that. It's really, really hurtful to know that there are people out there thinking of us as just physical matter to be used, for their experimentation. When I've moved all over the country trying to escape this stuff, and the same thing happens every time. I move to a new place. Within a couple weeks, neighbors move out, new people move in, and the torture starts right back up again. And what I've learned is that there's a contract on all of us, and you are not actually followed physically. Some people are. I do get followed on the highway. But what actually happens is when you move into a new state or even a different area within that state, a different county, your contract gets passed on to someone where you go, and then those people continue. I am not the best person to talk about as far as how these programs are run. I do know that the FBI, CIA, NSA, a lot of these letterhead agencies, Homeland Security, the DOJ, all of these agencies are managing our contracts. They are calling us terrorists, and there's a huge amount of tax money I'm working on this sign I'm painting right now. Did you know your tax dollars are funding the torture and murder of thousands of innocent civilians? There's a lot of tax money being funneled into these programs. And so they need, the programs are for preventing the terrorists from terrorizing. So I'm laughing because most of us are middle-aged women who don't and wouldn't hurt anyone. But they need us to be terrorists so that they can get all this money that they're getting to protect everyone in this country, supposedly. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what's happening. Many people have died from it. Heart attacks, strokes, cancer.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a human rights issue, and we shouldn't endure that, This has been done to me and still is doing to me now. And it's absolutely unacceptable to be, to be in this situation. Basically, they're robbing you from the life you should live. They provide, from everything, everything what you're able to accomplish in this life. They take away your opportunity to build life for yourself. They stay on your computer. They stay on all of your electronics. They listen to you. They listen to your conversations, they slander you, like you said, they turn you into rapist, child molester, everything what you could possibly imagine. It's just absolutely, absolutely unacceptable something like this to happen. And it's not only here in United States, it's all over the world. Basically, they were targeting my mother. She died 76 years old. They were targeting her. She was having cameras in her house. They killed her animals. You have no idea the kind of a torture she received, and most likely, she died from this torture, because you cannot torture somebody forever, like you said. This is absolutely. These people are psychotic. I don't know who is the crazy one, but it's not us for sure. These are people who need a lot of help, because this is not normal to treat people like this, to follow people around, to have a app on your phone and start, attacking people at the store, start attacking people on the freeways, and they got into my car also. They got me into accident also, They did a lot of things to me which is absolutely unacceptable. And I would never, never, accept the fact that I'm the crazy one, I'm the delusional one. No, they're the delusional ones, they're the crazy ones. They're the ones who should be, used for experiment, because normal person never do something like this to other person. I'm sorry, but there's the schizophrenics. They need a lot of help. I don't care if they're, government officials, CIA, FBI, wherever they are, they're not normal human beings. They need help, and they should be fired from the job, they do. And these kind of experiments should be punishable by law, and they should be in jail, all of them, as well as their accomplishments. All the people who they get involved in doing stuff like this, they use criminals. You know they turn them into other gender. That's something what I have been observing around me, because I've been through so much also. You have no idea. And they change their gender so we cannot recognize them. They give thousands and thousands of dollars to do that. And usually there is a rich person staying behind all of this. You offended somebody somehow. You have no idea what did you do, because they're not telling you, like you said. I don't know what is your case, what happened to you, why they started to target you. Can you please tell us?
I'm really not 100% sure.
You don't know why they
I really don't know. I think it may have been an angry ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know. I used to think that it was someone in town that just didn't like me, and her friends. But I'm not sure. I mean, I love everybody. It makes no sense to me. And I'm not anybody important, and I don't have money. I think it may have been that I didn't have close family, and seemed like an easy target.
Even if you have a family, they're gonna make sure that they, separate you from your family. I don't know what they're doing, to you, but they're doing something to you. They separate you from your friends, they separate you from your family, they slander you severely. They install cameras in your apartment, and I'm absolutely sure I have cameras somewhere here. Absolutely sure. It's not like listening devices. And of course, it starts from you leave your abuser, or you leave, your abusive husband, your abusive boyfriend. And this is the way to, teach you a lesson. And this shows actually how much women are not valued in the society. Like we don't have absolutely no right to defend ourselves, to build life for ourselves, to use our gifts to make a living, to do something with our life. The only thing we are obligated to do is stay with the person who is hurting us, who is causing us pain, and they don't care if you're gonna die, what is going to happen to you. They just totally disregard who you are, what you want to do, and you don't have any rights. It's so disturbing, and it's not only you and me, and there are other people. I don't know if you know the gang stalked Joanne, with her plastic surgery. She left her abuser. It's the same thing with her as well. It's absolutely outrageous to be in a situation like this just because you're a woman. And from what I found out, 90% of the targeted individuals, these are women. And they do horrible things to you, horrible things to you. What kind of a human being is going to install cameras in your apartment, is going to watch 24 hours, watching you cast their radio while you were sleeping, taking your all energy from you. They don't leave you alone. What kind of a normal person would do something like this? And we need to talk about it, and we need to get involved in the war against it. I saw so many people dying, committing suicide since I have been following targeted individuals in their groups and everything now. And I cannot believe that a normal human being would do such horrible thing.
No, these are not normal people. And, for a while, I got really, really down thinking, man, the whole world is hateful and horrible. And it's not true, but they do surround us with hateful people that are hurting us. So it starts to think like it's the whole world. But I really think that most people are good. But these programs, they have to get, like you said, they have to get criminals to do this stuff because normal people won't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's really important, really, really important to speak out. This stuff is headed for everyone being controlled.
Exactly. You cannot do anything. They block your pages on Facebook where you want to run your business. They take away all the tools necessary to build life for yourself. Facebook is involved, Instagram is involved, all of the places you could possibly imagine. And you don't know what to do, They're basically telling you, you're gonna do whatever we say you're gonna do. You wanna go back to your abuser, and we don't care what is going to happen to you. You're gonna do whatever we tell you to do, but it doesn't work that way. And I'm gonna tell, right now I'm live on Facebook, and they can see even my face. I'm sorry you couldn't join me, but the thing is, this cannot continue like this. You cannot install cameras in people's apartments. You cannot follow them around. You cannot do that. You cannot slander them. I had women, I'm sorry, sending me the age my daughter's age, sending me links, asking me for sexual favors, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing in the situation they put you, It's just crazy. It's crazy. And you're like, oh my gosh, is this really happening to me? And I told you what I started to do. Okay, you're gonna take pictures of me, then I'm gonna go into your face and take picture in your face, of you, to show you how this works, Don't follow me around, don't bump into my car. I started doing the same thing to them,
Right.
Yeah, this is the only way I was able to get rid of them, because I see you. I see what are you doing. I see who you are. I had criminals stopping at the grocery store to me, and I can see them in their eyes, who they are, what they're doing. And you see them, when somebody's following me, following you everywhere. And I'm like, don't you have anything better to do? Of course you don't have anything better to do, because you're a criminal, because you have mental problem, and you need a really good therapist to take care for you, And
right.
It's just,
I think too, I want to add that a lot of the problem is that our economy is so bad.
yeah,
And I've looked for jobs a lot of times, and I've even gotten hired since being targeted.
exactly.
But I have people show up at my work and do the directed energy at my heart, and generally I lose jobs because of that, because I can't function. But our economy is becoming, and I know this because like I said, I have looked for jobs, is becoming based on security and surveillance, which boils down to following targeted individuals around, spying on them and hurting them. That's becoming a huge part of our economy. And it starts to feel like the whole world is crazy because, if we are, each one of us is having all of this stuff done to us because of the economy, yeah, it's a lot. We're totally surrounded, and it's 24/7. And when you stop and think about it, we are employing a lot of people. When I was in
Exactly.
my trailer park, I said one time, everybody around me is getting new cars and new roofs on their house, new driveways. Like, everybody's getting rich all of a sudden. I move in, and
I know this very well.
I said, at least somebody should invite me over for dinner.
Exactly,
rich,
exactly.
torturing me.
Yes.
They should at least have me over for dinner. You would not believe the very next day somebody came over, knocked on my door, and asked me if I wanted to come to their house for dinner. So I was just saying that on the phone to a friend, but that's the extent. They're watching and listening 24/7.
I know. I know, and I had my friends, they bought him a house, and they bought him a house by the sea. They took my friend all over the places which I wanted to visit. You have no idea. And I'm like, really? How is this happening? To my neighbor, she left, but she told me what they have been doing to me. They bought her a new furniture. They bought her everything what she wanted. The only thing they didn't buy her a car. But these friends, when I moved to California, which I was supposed to meet here, they bought them house, a huge house. Probably they paid $2 million for this house, maybe more, because this house is in Cardiff by the sea. You live in California, and these are only rich people. You have no idea. And took him everywhere where I wanted to visit. All the places which I wanted to visit, they bought him a ticket to go and visit, and first class ticket. It's just crazy. So see what's going on. Where is the normal thing in all of this? What are you doing? What are you doing? So it definitely shows that these are rich people involved in that, and I'm kind of wondering if this is the government doing that or somebody else. Somebody else is behind all of these crimes. And you cannot, believe in God. You cannot call yourself Christian or anything like this if you're doing things like this. What are you doing? You need a lot of help. You should be in special unit, locked behind, locked door, and getting a lot of therapy. I'm sorry.
I think that once this stuff finally is all out and everybody knows what's really happening, I think that these gang stalkers are going to be looked at just like Gestapo. I really do. And this targeting and the situation in our country with it reminds me a lot of, Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It is totally crazy, and it's happening right now, and somehow people in their minds are justifying it. I think once it's completely out and everybody knows, I do think these people are going to be locked away. I hope so.
Me
they
too.
Need to be contained where they can't keep on hurting people. They're making people believe that we're bad and that we deserve to be tortured. If we had actually done anything, there would have been a hearing.
Exactly.
we would be in prison.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we haven't done anything, You cannot use your gifts to make a living. You're an amazing painter. You do absolutely fabulous job in painting. I saw your paintings, and everybody who was on Blog Talk Radio, you can see Lisa's paintings. They're absolutely beautiful, and it has to do with spirituality, with getting in touch with who you are. It has to do with all the beautiful things about life, everything amazing. And person like this would never do something horrible to somebody. Artists are not capable of hurting anybody because we are so preoccupied with nature, with going inside and finding out these amazing, beautiful feelings we are carrying, we are given since our birth. So it's absolutely impossible to hurt somebody. Am I right, Lisa?
Yes, yes. And when I got targeted, I was showing my work. I was designing and making garments for people. I was really using my creativity. Since being targeted, it's been really, really hard, and I'm moving back into it. I wish I could show you. I have a painting I'm working on. So I'm claiming back. I'm not as scared, and I'm claiming back my art. But yeah, they have really prevented a lot. I haven't shown my work. I don't even really want to be in public much, mostly because of the physical attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do hope that this stuff is going to come to an end, and I know it will. It's just a matter of when.
Absolutely.
So, and thank you so much for your encouragement, and you do so much to bring the targeting to light and other abuses that happen women and children and disabled people. These things really do need to come to light.
Hey, you're welcome.
The amazing thing is this technology that they are using to torture us, it was developed for medical purposes. It makes sense if a person is elderly and living alone and isolated, that a doctor would be able to check on them and make sure they're okay in their body,
Yeah.
They can make blind people see. They can make deaf people hear. They can create limbs and give people sensation as if that prosthetic was actually their body. I mean, the things that can be done with the technology that's being used to torture innocent people, it's really sad because we can do really beautiful things with it. I believe, I can't remember the article I read, but I read an article that said that the directed energy can be used to heal, to reshape cancerous cells. It's just incredible that we have this beautiful technology and it's being so misused.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you. Like the healers, like you're healer, I'm healer. We can use our energy to go, remotely in somebody's body and do the work, for them. Clear their blockages, clear a lot of negativity they're carrying inside. It's really amazing what we can do without using technology, just using our body and how much our body, can help, somebody who is suffering or anything like this. You can do that when you go into meditation and you can get into somebody's energy, and you can do wonderful work because there is no space, there is no distance when it comes to energy. And we can use this, like you said, to help each other, to do something good for somebody instead of all the way around. And you don't need
Yes.
cameras inside somebody's apartment to do this work.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope also that people who have a family member or a good friend who is targeted, I hope that people will please don't believe rumors. Check things out for yourself. Be supportive. A person may be hearing voices or experiencing strange pain. These things are real. It really is happening. Your family member has not lost their mind. And your support makes a big difference. I'm always so grateful. Most of the TI chat rooms are, TIs, and then of course you've got perps that are there, whether they're, government spies trying to find information, or they're, people working for the FBI and spreading false rumors. There's a lot of that too, a lot of disinformation. But once in a while, there's somebody that comes into the rooms that's not targeted, but that heard about it, or they do have a family member or friend, and they just want to learn about it and want to help. I am so, so grateful for those people. That's what we need. Those of us who are targeted know. We've been doing the research. We know a lot about what's happening and who's doing it. We really need everyone to be informed. The people that it's not happening to, that this sounds crazy. Those are the people that we need to reach to turn the tide. If everybody knows and everyone votes, then we're going to change things.
I'm totally agree with you. Yeah, people need to education, and they don't have a lot of education about a lot of things that are going on at the moment. And they need to do the work. And in order to do it, they need to start to research. They need to start asking questions. And people don't understand the fact that they're not immune of everything what is going on around, Right now, you're not targeted. Right now, you're not in domestic violence relationship and abusive. But who knows what is going to happen tomorrow and who is going to be in this situation. So it's really nice to be prepared to do the work, to do, to people, so you will know how to approach it. And again, there is something else that is missing a lot. It's love for people, love for yourself. And a lot of people are not aware that they don't love themselves. That's why they're not capable to give love to other people. And of course, to understand where the other people are coming from, and that other people are hurting, and there is something very painful going on in their life. It's really, really difficult to connect to these people. Yeah.
I think that and targeting is part of it, but I really think the wars we have and the aggression people have towards each other, I think all of it is based on a false belief that there's not enough love to go around, there's not enough food to go around, there's not enough energy, and all of that's BS. There's plenty of everything. If we would just go along and love each other, we have everything we need.
Exactly. Positive energy, positivity, and we can overcome the negative. Like, we talked about it, and, kind of shifting your way of thinking, rewiring your brain, and you proving to yourself that positivity and everything positive you're surrounding yourself is kind of, helping you to get rid of everything that, negative is going on around you. And including the attacks you're receiving, and you are proof of it. Since we talked about it, and since I explained to you how I'm protecting myself, it made a huge difference. You need to unplug from all these negative things that are going on around you. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. You can do it. You can do it, and you can, stop them from impacting you.
Yes, yes. The positive thinking has been that and Reflectix and what have kept me alive.
Yes.
So yeah, I do have to roll up in the Reflectix once in a while and hide, and I do that when I need to. But definitely, if I can bring my mind into a place of connection with God and know that I'm very much loved, that's so healing. And I believe firmly God loves all of us so much, so much. And I don't care what name you put on God. I have directly experienced God's love for me in a way that was so certain. And the people who are doing horrible things, God loves those people too, you know. And I keep praying that they'll have an awakening and realize that. And I think a lot of our politicians need that. They need a real awakening.
That's very true. I don't want to go into the politics. I don't want to go into that place for some reason. I don't think kind of it's the time, or I'm to get involved with this. I'm watching what's going on, looking what's going on. But God tells me to stay away at the moment, and that's what I'm going to do. And the moment He decides that I need to get involved, that's what I do. That's how it works with me. Every time God tells me to do something, I'm doing it. But right for now, I want to stay away from that. I see the mess, I see the people, I see everything. But for some reason, for now, I don't want to comment on that. So yeah, the main thing is we need to work on women's equality. We need to work on targeted individuals. We need to work on domestic violence. These are the three things we need to, concentrate on, because women are not considered humans. Women are not considered like they have any kind of rights. And here is the huge problem. And I don't think any woman should be targeted, should be humiliated, because gang stalking is so bad. Basically, these people I consider to be rapists. They need to be, in jail for doing stuff like this, because having cameras, attacking women sexually remotely with all kinds of craziness, like this, these people deserve to be in jail. They deserve to be in jail, and that's it. They should be a law which should protect women and should make sure that things like this are not happening. It's absolutely outrageous. What they're doing to us. You cannot sleep. You're waking up tired because you have cameras. Somebody's taking your energy constantly, looking at you, doing stuff like this. And from what I found out, some of the people who do that, these are people who could be, for example, in Romania. They can watch them they can watch on their computer. They could be in Iraq. They could be all over the place, and they can do this to you. On the top of the people who are following you around, who are slandering you in your neighborhood and do all of this crime. And the society needs to know that this is real and this is happening, and this is human rights issue, and it's a huge crime. It's a huge crime, and everybody should get involved and do something about it, because this is absolutely unacceptable.
I was in the hospital a week ago because I couldn't stop puking blood, because they were using these directed energy weapons to attack my heart and my stomach. And then about a month before that, I had to go to the ER because I had blisters on the bottom of my feet.
Oh my gosh.
Huge blisters. That was on Christmas. Huge blisters on my feet. That's what my neighbors were doing on Christmas. They were torturing me.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that nuts?
Absolutely.
Like, hey, it's Christmas. Let's get together and torture people. It's just insane.
Yeah. So because we are lazy enough to do the work on ourselves and do something about the gap we have in our personality. So we are resentful, we are hateful, but at the same time we go to church on Sunday and we worship God and we take a bath in Jesus' blood and everything is fine. Hey people, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way because this is total hypocrisy. You don't believe in God, but for sure you believe in the devil. So this has to stop. Work on yourself. Work on the things you need to work. And I'm sorry you're having problems in your personality, but you need to do the work because nobody else can do it for you. And hurting people, it's not gonna make you a better person, and it's not gonna fix the things you need to fix in yourself. So you need to start doing that. Christmas, you're targeting somebody, and now when somebody gets into emergency room puking blood, it's absolutely, absolutely out of control situation. I'm sorry, Lisa, you went through this, and I watched the video, and this is, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. And I'm also a loving and compassionate person. I love everybody. I would help you, you know. I had cases, I stopped in the middle of the street seeing somebody falling on the ground like during the summer here. And believe it or not, I was the only one person stopping in the middle of the road at the red light, at the green light, you know, leaving my car to go and help somebody, to give them water, to lift them, you know, to find help, to call 911 and stuff like this. It's absolutely unacceptable something like this to happen. People are just need a lot of wake up calls, you know. And when it comes to COVID-19 right now, here is the reason why we have COVID-19 and why these things are happening, because people refuse to rewire their brain and go back to the true nature of a human being, which is love.
Yes. Yep. I agree. And you know, here we are, human beings. We have these incredible minds. We're not even accessing 10% of, of what we could with our brain. And we've got all our digits that we can get around in the world and build things. And the diversity of life on this planet it's just overwhelming and intensely beautiful.
Absolutely.
So here we are in these awesome minds and bodies on this gorgeous, diverse planet. And what are we doing? We are torturing each other.
Exactly.
You know? Crazy.
Yeah. What is the point? How many lives you gonna have? 7? You're not cat, basically. You have one life. Instead of, you know, being happy, instead of coming together and just totally disregard all these differences when it comes the color of the skin, this Black Lives Matter and all of these distractions, you know, forced on us with a reason so they can divide us. Nobody's thinking like this. We are actually not working on the things that unite us. We are not seeing the similarities in ourselves so we can fix all this pain, all this suffering. And I don't know why people are enjoying all these tests which are keep coming back to us and coming back to us, and nobody is doing the work, the inner work, so they can bring this light back into the world and make a difference. And you're going to get my book today. I'm going to mail it to you. Thank you so much for buying my books. And you're gonna see what I'm talking about. How much light we have inside, how much love we have inside. This is the true nature of a human being. And the only race we have is a human race. There is no other race. No other race. So we can wake up and see the people from the lenses of love instead of constantly hating, you know, doing this, doing that. What kind of a gain is this from all of these actions? I don't know. What are you gaining from it? I really want to know, because I'm very confused right now, because I'm not that kind of a person. It's really difficult to see the things from other people, you know. from other people's lenses, you know.
I read an article because somebody said to me that I should look up cause stalking or hate stalking, those words. So I did. And one of the articles that I looked at was written by a young woman. And she said, she started off the article saying, everyone has someone in their life that they hate and that they need to follow around everywhere to see what this person is going to do next. And I thought, wow, I don't. There's no one I hate that I want to follow everywhere. And I really hope that that is not true for most people.
Yes, me too. Oh my gosh, I'm following myself. I want to be a better person tomorrow. I'm following my projects I need to finish. I'm worrying about building my life. I don't have time for this. And there is only one of me and only one of you. Why would I do that?
Right. And that statement, though, from this woman saying everyone, you know, has this mentality, that's concerning. Is this everyone of this generation, or, you know, what is going on that this is a common thing?
Exactly. I want answer to this question also, believe me. People don't realize that they're unique for who they are. There is no anybody who is them. They have their own gifts. They have, their personality, and they're completely different than anybody. That I don't know how else I need to explain that. You're unique the way you are. You shouldn't follow anybody. The only person you should follow yourself. You need to go inside yourself and bring all these gifts into the world and work on it. You shouldn't be envy. You shouldn't be jealous, especially women. Yeah, a lot of women do this. I have a woman who's doing this to me, have been doing it for quite a while. And what is the gain? You're basically creating bad energy for yourself. You're doing everything in your power to make sure your life is miserable and you're miserable and nothing good happens in your life without realizing that. People just don't believe in energy. They don't believe in the fact that the universe is giving you things based on your thoughts and actions. That's it. You need to, change.
You know, I used to be a really jealous person. I used to be, and I made myself miserable with it.
Absolutely.
And it really took, I think the difference is me really knowing myself well and loving myself to change that. But I also, there was a point where I realized I'm making myself miserable and I don't have to.
Exactly.
And I want to live in a world that's full of beautiful and talented people, you know?
Exactly.
This is what I want, so I don't need to be afraid of it.
The truth is, go inside yourself and bring, all these gifts, all these beautiful things you carry inside, which are only yours. Only you possess them. Develop them. Compete with yourself. Compete, with who you want to be, try to improve yourself. Make sure that you're doing progress every and each day you go, and, look at the day before and see if you made a progress the next day and the next day and the next day. That's how it should be, and that's how it works. And if everybody starts to do that, we don't have to deal, with this COVID test. We don't have to deal with these viruses that are coming right now, and with everything, because these are the tests we need to take. This should be our wake-up call. This is something we should work on. We need to rewire our brains. We need to do the work so we don't have to deal with all of this, because negativity, hate, violence, gang stalking, all of this is not gonna help. It just does the opposite. It puts us in a bigger hole and bigger hole and bigger hole and darker hole. That's how it is. So when we start to realize that, then the things are gonna start working and moving into the right direction. This is the way it should be. And if everybody buys the light within, probably they're gonna find out what I'm talking about. Because once you travel on this path of awakening and see the things from the light and see the things from God, Jesus, and other masters, then you're going to start to realize that what are you doing is not serving your best interest. That's it.
Oh man, if everybody put the energy into being a better person and working on their own stuff, that energy that they're putting into hurting other people, or even just being angry or jealous, the world would be like 1,000% better place.
Absolutely. And feeding people. What is this? Is the word a fitting room? I don't know. Why you feeding people? It's a huge thing. Feeding people. We feed people. We have problem with people. We are feeding them in our box. What we do. Everybody should everybody should do it. They're providing people from their gifts, and a lot of people, start to develop mental problems, even children, because the parents are not allowing them to be who they want to be. They don't allowing them to test their skills and their desires, their wishes, and the love of something they would love to do in this life. It's huge problem. It's a huge problem, and nobody realized that.
It is, and I think, a lot of people who are angry and hateful and hurtful have been told that they're bad. I think that everyone needs a foundation of love.
Exactly.
And acceptance.
Absolutely.
So that's, it's a huge problem. I want to tell everyone, I love you. You're beautiful. You can do what you put your mind to.
Absolutely.
And I think from the perspective, that's the place then that you can go in and start doing the real work of changing the things about yourself that you don't like. People have to have love first. If you just go screaming at someone, you need to blah, 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 they're going to be angry and hurt, and they're going to curl up in a ball and probably not change anything, Whereas
Exactly.
when we love each other and are kind, then it feels safe and okay to look at the darker stuff. We all need to do that, all humans.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to share before I let you go, Lisa? Thank you so much for being on my show. Thank you so much for sharing these amazing thoughts and what happened to you. That's how the difference starts, to become a reality. And yeah, we need a lot of love for ourselves first. We need to do the inner work so we can do the outer work, and help others and transform the world and become this huge ball of light that is going to illuminate the whole world, so we can transform this world that is dying because of our actions, because of our unwillingness to do the work. This is the problem. And I really do hope, and I see a light, and I really want to see more of this light, and I want to see more and more and more, so we can completely transform this world.
Yes, me too. And we can. And I know that it's possible, and I really hope that we grow into that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your story and everything. And I'm gonna mail you books. Thank you so much for buying my books, believing in me, and I cannot wait to see your comments and what you think about it. And you're absolutely wonderful, and I'm so happy I was able to help you and do something for you and as I see you're working on your art, which is absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You are such a blessing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody who were with us. And Lisa, do you have any last words before we go?
I guess what I really want people to know is that they can choose. You get to choose your own life and where you put the emphasis. So love each other. That's it.
Yeah.
Just love each other.
Thank you so much, everybody. Love each other. Work on yourself. Do the work, because you're in charge. You're the boss. You're the one behind the wheel. So you need to start doing the work. And nothing good comes from darkness. Nothing good comes from anything dark. You need to understand that at the end, you are hurting yourself. Nothing dark goes away. Nothing what goes around comes around. It's a circle of life. And it's time for all of us to come together, to unite, and to work the similarities we have, the things we want together as a team to, see in this world. And this is happiness, love, light, and all the good things this, life is all about. So thank you so much. We wish you amazing, amazing weekend. My book, The Light Within, is available on my website, dianabellarose.com. And let me know what you think about it. Comment. And this live video is going to be on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Periscope, and everywhere where be able to watch it again. And if you have any questions for me or Lisa, just drop down below this video or email it to me on my website, dianabellarose.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you so much, everybody.